All right, so you've probably seen it all over your feed. I'm talking about the potential TikTok ban. And today we're going to take a deep dive into it
We are.
with a recent blog post from Trend.
That's right.
It's called TikTok Ban, what it could mean for users, creators, and TikTok Shop. Sin?
It was posted on December 7th, 2024. And it's all about like, okay, what if TikTok actually goes away, like it disappears from the app stores?
Yeah, what happens then?
Yeah.
And this is for you, whether you're just scrolling through TikTok for fun, or if you're a creator who's, making content, or even a business owner using TikTok Shop.
That's right.
This deep dive is going to be for you.
Yeah, so to kind of set the stage here, the big concern that the U.S. government has is data security risks. And this is all tied to TikTok's parent company,
Oh, right.
ByteDance,
Yeah.
which is based in China.
Okay, so I've seen like all these headlines about a ban, but like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah, so basically a federal court has ruled that ByteDance has to divest its stake in TikTok by January 19th, 2025.
What?
So they essentially have to sell off their ownership of it. And if they don't meet that deadline, TikTok could face a ban in the U.S.
January 19th, 2025. That feels way too close for comfort. Like,
I know, right?
what would that even mean for like the average TikTok user like me?
Well, imagine like your For You page just suddenly goes blank. No more, favorite creators, no new dance trends.
Oh my gosh.
Like all those niche communities that you found,
Right?
all gone. And we're talking about over 170 million Americans use TikTok. So this is a potentially massive digital shift.
Like a whole digital world, just like.
Yeah.
So what does the blog post say? Like, what can people do to prepare for this?
Diversification. That's the key takeaway here. And this isn't just about TikTok. This is about being smart with your online presence as a whole.
Right.
Think about it like this. If you were a musician, you wouldn't just play at one venue, right?
Right. You'd want to play, multiple gigs.
Exactly. You want to build up a wider fan base.
Yeah, to reach more people.
Exactly. And so the blog post recommends exploring platforms like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat Spotlight. They're all kind of, vying for TikTok's audience. So you'll see a lot of those familiar features and formats popping up.
It sounds like the competition is heating up.
Oh, yeah, it is. And I think it's a good reminder that the digital landscape is constantly changing. This isn't just about one app. It's about being adaptable and strategically building your online presence across multiple platforms.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Being adaptable. It's interesting, though, because even with all these other platforms kind of like rising to the challenge, TikTok has really carved out its own space, especially like when it comes to creators and businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they found this niche and they've really cultivated it.
Absolutely. Like think about all those creators who have put so much time and energy into building their following on TikTok. Like for a lot of them, it's their livelihood, That's how they express themselves creatively.
Totally. And then you get TikTok Shop too.
Yeah.
Which is like a whole other beast.
Yeah, it's huge. Like the blog post mentioned that TikTok Shop hit $100 million in sales just on Black Friday in 2024.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
That's a ton.
Yeah, it really highlights how much of an impact this ban could have. Like,
right.
Not just on the users, but on the entire digital economy.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
Big time.
So for like creators specifically, what does this mean? Like, what would the impact of a ban be?
Well, they could lose income followers, all that momentum that they've built.
Right.
Imagine like having to start from scratch on a new platform.
It's like going back to square one.
Yeah, you got to rebuild your audience, your brand.
Like learn a whole new language just to talk to your fams.
Yeah, exactly. And then for businesses who are using TikTok Shop, the stakes are high too.
Right.
If they lose access to that platform, it could really disrupt their sales, their marketing,
right.
Their whole business model, really.
So what can they do? The blog post had some advice, right?
Yeah, it really comes back to what we were talking about earlier with diversification.
Okay.
So for creators, it means, proactively building a presence on different platforms. Like, don't wait for the ban to happen,
Right.
Start sharing your content on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever platform makes sense for your brand.
It's like, plant a bunch of different seeds now so you have a backup garden in case one gets wiped out.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And then for businesses, explore those alternative e-commerce options like Shopify, Instagram shopping. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't put all your eggs in the TikTok basket.
Exactly.
So diversification really does seem to be the overarching theme here.
It is.
Like whether you're a casual user, a creator, a business owner,
Yeah.
you really got to spread your wings across these different platforms.
Yeah, it's the best way to, be prepared for whatever might happen in this ever-changing digital world.
Right, but let's be real, like even with diversification, a complete TikTok shutdown would still be a massive disruption.
Yeah, there's no sugarcoating that it would be huge.
So like, is this really the end for TikTok?
Yeah.
Or is there still hope? It feels like we're all just kind of holding our breath.
Yeah, totally. It's a real nail biter. But the blog post did mention that TikTok is like, fighting back legally.
Okay.
And there's been a lot of support, from users and creators who obviously don't want to see the app go away.
So it sounds like there's a chance things could still go in TikTok's favor.
I mean, there's always a chance, right? But honestly, nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like a wait and see kind of
It
situation.
really is.
It's complicated.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But regardless of what happens with TikTok, this whole thing feels like a bit of a wake-up call.
It is. It really is. We've seen how quickly things can change online, and it's a reminder that you don't really own your online presence the same way you might own like a physical store or something.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, it's almost like we're just renting our space online.
Exactly.
And the landlord could just like change the rules whenever they want.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be prepared,
Right.
and not get too comfortable relying on just one platform.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Diversify.
Diversify, yeah.
So that seems to be like the biggest takeaway here.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter what you're doing online.
Absolutely. Whether you're just, watching videos or you're a creator sharing your work or you're a business owner, having that presence on multiple platforms, it's just crucial these days.
It's like building a stronger foundation for your online life.
Exactly. Yeah. And don't wait for something like this to happen to force you to do it.
Be proactive.
Yeah, be proactive. Start diversifying now.
Well, that's some really great advice.
Hmm.
I think that's a good place for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time to walk us through this whole deep dive. It's been super interesting.
Yeah, of course, these conversations are so important, especially with how fast the internet's changing.
And for everyone listening, we're going to leave you with this. If TikTok were to disappear tomorrow, what would you miss the most? And where would you go to fill that void? Think about your own online strategy and how you can be prepared for whatever comes next.
Yeah, great question. The internet's always changing, so the best thing you can do is be ready to adapt and stay informed.
That's so true. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And until next time, stay curious.